up, man? It's your boy Moondog 3732 from the Moondog 3732 show on YouTube. Hey, man, watch the show, like the show, subscribe, share, comment. Also, the podcast, me and Tiffany DJ. Also, the .com with the merchandise stuff like that. We still got a pop. We come back stronger than ever. But with that being said, I have one of my most esteemed colleagues, homeboys, friends, all that good stuff. 38732 representing my homie, Mr. Jaworski D Coffey.
Yes, sir.
Now, if y'all don't know, this right here, he's an author, amongst other things. And as you can see, he has his book in front of him. Now, just in case you didn't know, the book is called Why Ask Why When You Say We're Stupid Anyway. Small print coming. When you're trying to figure out why you keep choosing the wrong companion. Before we get into the book, man, who are you?
Who am I? First of all, I'm a father, a son, a brother, an uncle, but more importantly, I'm a human being that understands that we go through life and make mistakes. And with that, it's just that we all have our own level of creativity that we have to give to the world. And this is just one of mine. Writing is one of the things that I've always been passionate about. So you can, I'll put it like this here. You can't really put me in a box. You can say writer, you can say poet, you can say songwriter, but I've written obituaries. I've written wedding vows. I've written it all. But this right here is my first gift to the world. Right here. And more so it's for the ladies, but it's also for the men that have inquiries that can find the flaws of making yourself a better person. The thing about it is we can't be good companions for other people when we're damaged as well. We have to recognize our own flaws before we can point the finger at somebody else and say, well, you do this or you do that. You got to look within yourself first and then try to figure that part out to make you a better you for the person that you say that you love.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Just in case people don't know, man, where are you from?
Hey, man, look, man, I'm from, literally.
Literally and figuratively.
Literally, I'm from Cleveland, Mississippi.
Okay.
But figuratively, I'm from Eastgate, Mississippi. When you cross that border over there, get into the county, that the numbers don't count for the city, but you know what? We still represent for the city as well. So, go back to the football days and all that other stuff like that. When it comes down to it, when it all boils down to it, and I always said, Eastside High, class of 1996, class president, right here, true Trojan, all the way to the end. We bleed black and gold.
Never say die, just in case y'all didn't know.
Never say die.
Even in the face of defeat.
Even in the face of defeat. We still rise up.
All right. Now, what do you represent? We know you said you this. I mean, those things sound good, but what do you actually represent, though?
I represent a man. Before anything is said and before anything is done, I'm a man that understands a lot about how life works. We make our mistakes here and there, it comes from, one, the way that we're raised, our belief systems and different things of that nature. Sometimes you have to forget everything that you've learned and then reiterate it back into your life and teach yourself and make it right. We have our own issues and different things of that nature, but at the end of the day, I represent manhood, and that's who I am. I'm one of those, and for the people that know me, know that I'm one of those people, if I say it, I mean it. And if I give you a promise and I say that I'm going to do something or be somewhere at a certain time, that's my word. That's all I have.
Now, y'all heard that he represents manhood. Now, just in case y'all didn't know, I did a show or a video, and it also stated that there's a difference between a man and a male. A lot of women are choosing males to be with, and then when it don't work out, they blame all the men. No, you chose wrong. Well, what's the difference? What's the difference, Moondog? A lot of difference is accountability, responsibility, and actually handling things. When you see a man steps up to the plate. When you see a male shies away from the plate. He don't want to take what's coming with that fastball.
Right.
He'll try to get walked. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He'll try, if you can follow that analogy.
Right. If you can't understand the baseball analogy of it, is that, like he said, men step up to the plate, and we're going to swing, and we're going to swing, and we're going to continue to swing until we hit a home run. But he says that male aspect of it, he looks at it like that. I look at it from a different perspective.
As he should.
I look at it a different perspective because of this. You have men, and then you have boys. Or should I say boys and then men? Because one grows into another. The growth process of a boy that hasn't grown into the aspect of being a man, that's where you have the problem. Yeah, he's 35. He might have this and that. He might have whatever going for him, but his mindset is still that of a boy or a young man that hasn't grown into the aspect of being a man. The age limit doesn't matter. It really doesn't. That really doesn't hold a factor in it, because after you calculate the maturity level into it, if he hasn't matured into a man, he's still a young man or a boy.
Now, y'all know he will represent his book today, as well as some other things, right? And in that book, it's talking about different variations or different versions of a man or a male or a boy or any situation similar to that. But, I have to ask this question because, gotta be real. When you're talking about relationships, what does like a relationship mean to you? Like, would you say you've been successful in relationships?
I have, to a certain degree. Because, see, just what I just spoke on about growing into being a man, I'm getting it right at this point. When I was younger, I didn't get it right. And honestly, just to be truthful about the matter, there are certain things that we have to grow up out of in order to be able to say that we've done our part to make a relationship work. Sometimes we get caught up in who we are as a person and who we are as people, to where, like in the book it says, it talks about compatibility. You have to be able to recognize if you're compatible with the person that you're trying to mate yourself with. And a lot of the times, us as men, we're not ready. We think we are, but we're not ready. When you're not ready to let that nightlife go and going into the clubs and still being, flirtatious with women on the outside of your relationship and different things of that nature, you're not ready. You're not ready to make it work. But when you get to a point to where you can see things for what they really are, most things are hindrances into trying to make something work. Let's say people use that word love a lot, and it stretches thin, very thin at times. But if you love someone, you will make the necessary changes within you to do everything that it takes to make it work, to make that river kind of flow a little bit smoother, and you'll give up certain things. You don't normally want to, but you'll let certain things go just in the namesake of making it work. I've gotten to the point to where I understand now that, okay, maybe not going out as much or whatever it was that causes confusion into the relationship, it needs to stop. So now I'm to the point now to where I just view life different. I see women different. Everything in life is different now because my hindsight now is, it's a broader view, but it's different now. I don't indulge in a whole lot of things now. I really don't.
You hear what he's saying? He's basically saying he's keeping his head on a swivel and he's making sure he see what's coming and what's not coming and what's going to actually help him instead of hinder him. Yeah. And that's the big thing about discernment, so to speak, is you're seeing certain opportunities. I'm put that in quotes. You know what I'm saying? Every opportunity that comes to you, male, female, situation, relationship, it ain't necessarily for you. So that's why we got to figure out which one is going to take us to want to work for us. In other words, we got to sift it out. Y'all know about sifting. That's an old situation dealing with cooking. That's neither here nor there. All right, here we go. Now, but why a book though? Like, why write a book? Like all the things that we got popular, like we're in the digital age. But why write a book though?
Well, actually, this is the second variation of the book, because, well, put it like this, just make it simple and put it out there. The first printing company that I went through, they kind of screwed me over a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You know, so that was part of, you know, I almost got to a point to where I was actually done with the idea until I started getting phone calls. You know, I received a phone call, say, hey man, look, you know, we're interested in republishing the book. Okay, you know, it is what it is, but you know, when they go to hit me with the numbers, you can go check this out. Hey man, you got like 5,000-6,000 people that have actually Googled the book to purchase the book to you know, see what you're talking about. So this marketing company I went through, I was like, okay, well yeah, let's just go ahead and go through that. Let's go ahead and do it, and let's go ahead and put it right back out there. And as a matter of fact, let me go back and change a few things and make it anew to the point from when I published it back then to the point to where I can go ahead and change a few things and upgrade a few things to the mindset to where I am now. You know, there's a difference in growth. You know, we all evolve differently and at different speeds. But now I'm to the point to where, you know, I'm okay with putting it out there, and whatever ridicule or whatever it may come along with it is okay. But you know what? Is one thing that I know that trumps all is the truth. You know, so with that being said, here we are right now with the book, and for the people that actually can get something from it, I wish and pray for you the best.
Now y'all heard that. Now I understand what you're talking about. I was writing a movie for a minute. I went back to it a couple weeks ago, and I read back through it. I'm like, what was I thinking about when I wrote this line? Like, no, man, I can't put that in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I went through a writing class told me, you can't say this, you can't say that. Matter of fact, you saying this too many times. But I would tell them that's how I think, or that's how my friends and I, we communicate. But at the same time, once I started taking in what he was saying, it made sense. But I had to actually listen to somebody. You know, a lot of times dealing with me, I believe I'm right. You know what I'm saying? This is my baby. I believe I'm right. Now, y'all hear his voice. He's on the other side of Barry White, right? So I'm gonna ask him this: is there an audio book coming? Or do you think about doing an audio book as well?
Well, that's part of the process. Actually, my marketing company is trying to put something into play for me to be able to do voiceovers, and the audio book is one of the ideas of what's coming next. So, you know, it's like the podcast that we're doing now. You know, the podcast is basically giving you a visual of who I am, you know, the person that I am. So when you pick up the book, and, you know, right now, if you've listened to the podcast before you purchase the book, you know, it's just like any other thing like that. You think in your mind that of something that's said, like a movie, one from whatever, from your one of the favorite storylines. You know, you hear, you know, the author or whoever the actor that says it, you know, in the movie. You know, when you play it back in your mind and you say it, what you try to do is reiterate it back the way that you heard it. You heard it in that person's voice. So this is also a Jedi mind trick, you know, to the point to where when you do read the words of the book, you will hear it in my tone. You know, so yes, there are a few things coming about as far as, you know, using my voice and using my tone to get me out there a little bit more. Yeah.
All right. Now, y'all heard that. Now, as I was reading the book, and before I started reading the second iteration of the book, me and Mr. Coffey right here, we had a conversation about certain comparisons. And one of the comparisons we came up with was like, do you think you're going to be compared to Steve Harvey? Because some people may think it's in the same vein of the type of book in which he's done.
Yeah, I know the comparison is going to be there, and amongst other people, that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. But on the real aspect of it is that in writing this book is old. It's not a piece of my newer work. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and when I wrote this book, she was still in the womb. So as far as the comparison, it's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be done. People will do it, and like I say, I'm okay with it. But and the truth of the matter is that my book was actually written before his was. And I'm okay with the comparison. It'll come, but it'll also pass because also there are things in my book that he doesn't have in his. But like I said before, it was written 13 years ago.
Now, for those of you that are going to compare, a lot of times, I want you to think about this. You go to Walmart and you go down that cold medicine aisle, it's a bunch of cold medicine there, right? If you go to Walmart and you go to that water aisle, it's a bunch of different waters in there, right? Okay, you got to figure out what's the reason why you're going down there to get that. Now, when you get this book, it's a reason why you're going to get that book. Now, he's already said that people have been inquiring about the book. It's going to be I believe it's going to be a hot commodity. I believe it's going to be a bestseller. I've already been reading the book. And when I say that, check out some of these chapter titles. Thoughts. Knowing who you are dealing with. The crazy guy, the mama's boy, the drama king, the jealous guy, the focused guy, the stand-up guy, liar, the playboy, Mr. Ooh-wee, Mr. Unavailable, the leech, trust, cheating, communication, placement, breakups, compatibility, sex, love, happiness, and peace of mind. I know y'all, let me say it again. Love, happiness, and peace of mind. It's a song called Love and Happiness, but think about if it had been called Love or Happiness. Better need to hit on there, right? Also, what women want to know and acknowledgments. So you're seeing these things, you're hearing these things, you're going to actually have to read it. Because in my mind, as I was reading these titles of the chapters, I'm like, okay, I know what we're going to go into. But then when I read it, I'm like, nah, put a little more thought into this. Because, like I said, in my mind, I had already made it up. So tell us about some of these. We're going to start with knowing who you are dealing with. You just give us a brief synopsis of what you mean by that, of what that chapter was entailing.
Basically, that chapter is entailing. I mean, it's basically self-explanatory,
right?
But at the same time, it's not. In knowing who you're dealing with. Okay, this is something I heard a while back. It was actually from DMX. He said you have to trust people to be who they are.
Sorry.
Not who we want them to be or the expectation of who they could be, but who they are right now in this time and space. You expect a snake to bite you. You expect a liar to lie to you. You expect a thief to take from you. You know who these people are, but you have to trust in who they are. Simply saying, if people give you, I can tell you I love you all day long, but my actions can speak different. My words don't really mean nothing. My actions tell you who I am and what it is that I'm presenting to you. So that's when you know who a person is. In love, we kind of turn a blind eye to a lot of things, and the things don't. Okay, yeah, I love him, or I love her, so I'm gonna look past this a little bit, or I'm gonna look past that. I'm gonna look past this flaw. I'm gonna look past this thing that I really don't like, and different things of that nature. But when you get tired of it, it comes to a boil. When you're sick of it, but the only person that you can be upset with is yourself because you allowed this to go as far as it did. When you saw who this person was, but you still gave them the benefit of the doubt because they had potential to be something different or be something more for you. But when they are not that, they are not that. And it's just that simple. When you know who a person is, you don't have to figure it out. It's already there. You just have to take heed to the little subtle antics that they do that give you an insight on who they are. And for you as a person not to say, okay, well, I'm just going to settle for this. You know, it's okay, it's cool, I can deal with this, but you can only deal with it for a time.
You know, a lot of times I've seen situations where the person shows you exactly who they are, but you see that potential in them. Well, if I just add this right there to them, they could do this right here. They haven't done it in 20 years. That's all I'm saying. They haven't done it in 20 years. Then you'll get stuck helping this person, take it out of yourself. You're steady giving, but you aren't receiving anything to nourish yourself.
Yeah, and see it in the process of doing that, you lose some of who you are. And see, and this is what the book is for. You know, for you to take heed to those subtle things that you're like, well, nah, you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm really not going to deal with that. You know, I don't, you know, because the thing about it is what people have to understand is that it only gets worse when you accept it and don't try to do anything about it. You know, I use the analogy of going out to the nightclubs and different things of that nature. If you're not a nightclub type person and you're dating a nightclub type person, yeah, it's fine in the beginning, but after a while, you're going to be sitting at home on many nights, lonely, by yourself, while they out there getting their boogie on. And how long will that last before you actually get fed up with it and say, hey, look, you know, I'm done with that. You know, I can't do this here no more. You know, when that time has lapsed, whether it be 6 months, a year, 2, 10, 20, you know, and it's just that you have to be able to be mindful of who people really are and not the potential of what they can be.
Now, as you can see, a little emphasis on that. So pick up the small emphasis they put on certain words. Now, let's skip around a little bit. The focused guy. You know, a lot of times people can't get focused, especially they trying to get a podcast off the ground, a business off the ground. They're designing t-shirts. Sometimes these people can't get focused. They may not be ready for a relationship, or they may start neglecting the relationship they're already in. But it's for a reason. So tell us about the focused guy.
Well, the focused guy is that guy that he's headstrong. He's very headstrong on his ideals of that time. I use him because what ends up happening is he might be a nice looking guy, that women like. You know, he might, in the book says that he might be in school. You know, he's focused in on what it is that he's doing that doesn't require a relationship. He's focused in on his studies. Like I say, he's focused in on his business. He's focused in on whatever it is that he has in his mind that he's doing right now that doesn't leave time for a relationship. It's not to the point to where, okay, I can make a little time here, I can make a little time there, but we know that, how people are. Once there's an attachment built, there is going to be a time where, you require more time. Well, we should do this, or we should do that, or we should go out. But no, I'm focusing on my book. I'm sitting down and I'm writing this book, and that's what I'm focused in on right now at this time and period. I don't have time for a movie. I don't have time to go out and do lunch. I don't have time to hang out and do dinner or go to your folks' house and, and kick it at the barbecue for Memorial Day or whatever. It's just that I'm focused in. The focus guy is focused in on whatever it is. See, the beautiful part about that is that when he's done, he has time. if he doesn't move into another endeavor. But when he is, when he got the blinders on, that's the only thing that he sees at this point in time. You're not going to fit into that equation at all. And the only thing it's going to do is frustrate you, because you're going to want more time. You're going to, I'm going to, I want you to be here. I want you to be there, but he's not going to be able to be there. And his obligation is to whatever project that he's working on, whatever he's doing at that point in time in his life, and it's just not going to work.
Now, we're not going to give the book away in this podcast. We still want you to go purchase the book. You know what I'm saying? So what we going to do, I'm going to start throwing some of these up. And we ain't trying to let y'all sit back right here. No, he give us audio book right now. No, we're not giving you the audio book right now. So let's double some of these up. Go ahead and take some of that water to the head. Y'all know I'm from Mississippi, so I say water. And I don't say water or whatever how you want to pronounce it.
Wow.
Here we go. Compatibility and sex. These are two different chapters. Now, y'all may not know. Sometimes you have to be compatible with that person to make that sex pop out or not. Tell us about that, Mr. Coffey.
Well, I go into compatibility first because the fact of the matter is, some people say, and now this doesn't speak for every relationship. Every relationship is different because the people in the relationship are different. But compatibility, some people say that opposites attract. But that's only for a few selective relationships. You have to be compatible to this person in mind, spirit, and soul. And with that being said, is just that, okay, let's just say you've been married 3-4 years and somebody has an idea of venturing off into something. Or there's a business that we want to start. Oh, I come in the house and say, hey, honey, look, I want to start this restaurant, where I want to do some barbecue or something. And you may not be open to that. In the relationship, you come into it, and you may not, oh, baby, that might not work, or this and that, or however you feel about it. But see, there's a growth process in us all. And that compatibility is a day-to-day thing that grows within us. We're high school sweethearts. But as we get older, we mature. And the person that you were 10 years ago, you're not anymore. You're not. There's no way that you can be that same person that you were 10 years ago. If you haven't evolved as a person in 10 years of knowledge and growth and different things of that nature, you're actually wasting your time in a relationship, because that person that you're with will outgrow you. But that compatibility of it is that you have to like certain things together. Now, if you're a moviegoer, I'm not a real moviegoer. I like to sit at home and watch Five Stick all the time. Or you like to go out and go to restaurants and different things of that nature. And I like to sit at home and cook. Y'all gonna keep butting heads. You're gonna keep butting heads. And see, that's where the compatibility comes into the play, is where you can come to a compromise and be like, okay, well, yeah, we can do this or we can do that. But you have, in some retrospect of it, you have to be able to have common ground on both sides in order for it to make it work. That's where the compatibility comes in at. Now, as far as the sex, that's a different topic in itself. Because, a lot of the times, people come with good sex, but they're not good people. He can come to you, or she can come to you, and and can, knock your socks off.
Make your toes curl.
Yeah, make them curl off. You pick up a quarter with your toes. But at the same time, that person may not be the best person for you, because if that person is not loyal to you and only you, that's going to be a problem. You know, yeah, sex is one of the key components to a relationship that helps it go. Even nuns say that sex is one of the key things that, and key points into a relationship that help a relationship work. But if you don't have a few other things that come along with it, like I say, if you don't have loyalty in the relationship that comes along with sex, that's going to be a problem. You know, and a lot of times, I say this because women like to use the sex tool, to try to make a guy act right. Well, I'm not going to give him none. And that in itself opens the door for trouble. So, there's a lot of things that weigh into it that are inside of the book. But, like I say, even nuns have said, and these are people who have taken a vow against sex, and they say that, hey, that sex is a high commodity in a relationship. If you can learn to love a person sexually, then you turn around, and if you can figure out a way to also love a person spiritually, those are key components that when they're put together, that's real good. Those are the real good ingredients of a nice relationship.
We're going to touch on this next chapter very briefly before we start wrapping this thing up. We don't want to give away too many things, like I said previously. Next chapter, what women want to know. Those were a few questions in the book that women asked me. Actually, they didn't ask me. I actually went around and questioned women, to get a different perspective on what they actually wanted to know. And I can take my point of view and try to put it into the book and different things of that nature, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to actually get a real good synopsis on what women were thinking about, what they want, and the things that that they would question. Okay, I will walk up to a lady I don't even know her, like, hey, look, I'm writing this book and I need some insight from it. If there was one question that you wanted to ask a man truthfully and get a truthful, honest answer from it, what would that be? And that's what brought along that aspect of the book. And I think I went about anywhere from 50 to 100 different women, people that I knew, and half of them I didn't know, just randomly, just asking them, what was it? What is it? What is it that you want to know? What are you having problems with in your relationship? Just, ask me the question. And that's where that came from. All right. Let's go into these acknowledgments. Who are we acknowledging today?
Man, look, first and foremost, I say God. Without him, I wouldn't be too much of anything. But also, secondly, I'd say my mother, because I have this statement that God made me. My mother birthed me, but I built myself. So Dolores Coffey, I love you. Thank you for being the woman that you are. And I also like to thank my dad. Growing up, he really wasn't there. And for whatever the particular reasons are, I won't get into that. But right now, at this point in time, he my right-hand man. So with that being said, God, my mother, my father, Andre Griffin, which has been one of my biggest supporters. Tony Cameron, also one of my big supporters.
Speaking of which, Tony, I used to beat the brakes off of him in East Side playing spades. Didn't even hit no there. I'm going to be sure to tag him that too.
And I would also like to thank Katrina Griffin. Katrina Kent at this time. Honestly, without her, the book would still just be an idea. Just to give you a quick background on the book itself. The book actually was not a book idea in the beginning. I was having my second daughter, and I'm like, man, okay, I got girls. And I wrote down different, well, actually the chapters in the book were my questions that I put in play to say that, okay, I got girls, somewhere down the line, I am going to have to answer these questions. These are going to be some of the subjects that we have to tackle somewhere down the line with them simply because they are girls. And I think I left it on the counter in the kitchen one day, and she read it, and she was like, well, won't you write a book? You already got the chapters. So that's where the book came from, was a helpful idea from an idea. So I have to give her that, because if it wasn't for that, there would be no book. And now at this point in time in my life, I have 4 daughters and 1 son. So even now, the book is my way of giving back to my daughters. Just in case if I'm not here, these are my words and this is what I feel about certain things. So if tomorrow comes and I'm not here, they have me in written form, and they don't have to question anything else.
Now, with that being said, I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Coffey for even showing up and reaching out to me, because he could have went to any other avenue to do this. I've been knowing this guy for a long time. I met him through my cousin Kat, aka Cedric Thomas. He's a coach. We'll talk about that when I get him on the show one of these days. You know what I'm saying? But this is how life works. I never would have thought that we would be right here doing what we do right now at this point. We talking about football. We talking about playing double. We talking about all this stuff, hanging out. Just down there, cat house, all this type of. I never thought that we would do this right here. I've seen a transformation in Mr. Coffey, from Jaworski to Bear, you know what I'm saying, to Jamal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is why I first got the book from. He was doing poetry in Memphis, and I popped up on him at the little spot, and I got the book. It had a whole different color cover and everything.
Yeah.
And I need to hit no there. So now I see the man that I am in front of today. And if you knew the Johnny, man, you know it was a beautiful thing, man. So, Mr. Coffey, is there anything else you want to... Matter of fact, where can they get the book at when everything starts popping?
Well, right now, at this point in time, I'm actually waiting on a marketing company to give me that information. They sent me a few copies. That's why you have the copy you have. They sent me a few copies to look over, to make sure it was something that I liked. I should know something in about a week or so on where to get it from. People have already started posting pictures of it, which I'm okay with it. I'm all right, because that's only the beginning of things to come. So right now I'll say, friend me at Jaworski Coffey on Facebook, Instagram, Thought Process on Twitter, and in a few days I should have that information. So if anybody want copies, I have the website ready for you. And also, if you want, when I get more copies available to me, I'll be able to sign copies and be able to ship them out.
Now y'all heard that. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna doctor on this. I'm gonna let them see what it's looking like. I'm gonna post it on YouTube, Facebook, and all the other platforms which I'm on. The Moondog 3732 show. Just look it up. Can't miss it. It's on Google. So it's Googleable, as they say. At the same time, when I do it and I get it, I'm gonna edit everything, post it, and then once he gives me the information and the links, I'm gonna post it into the description so everybody knows what the business is. Hey man, it's been wonderful. It's been a pleasure. With that being said, man, I'm out.
Peace.